Eyewitness News reporter Kalina Strinos is on the case this morning. She's live with the details. Good morning, Kalina.
Good morning, Kendall. So we are here learning about self-defense because it is very important, right? Right? Yeah. I'm trying to act like they're kids here because all the little kids, when I'm with them, third graders are like, yay! Okay. So we have the owner, David. Tell me a little bit about who you've partnered with for this and then the free classes you have to offer.
We work together closely with the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault downtown. It's 1921 19th Street. We've been working for about 8 years, giving free self-defense to women on the third Wednesday of every month.
Did they approach you, or whose idea was it? How did it kind of come about?
They did. They approached me. They were looking for an instructor, and we just gave it a try a couple times, and it took off, and we just stuck with it.
Awesome. So what's a common misconception? Because I feel like I've heard in some stories about, hey, don't fight back if you get attacked, don't do this. And then other people say, no, you have to. So what do you think? Right.
Absolutely. I say fight back at all times. It's a tough question. Obviously, if there's weapons, guns, and knives involved, that can change how you feel about things. But then it's a personal choice between what are the possible consequences of not fighting back versus fighting back. Both ways could be deadly. So unfortunately, there's no right or wrong answer. But I say most of the time you should fight back. Okay.
So let's do maybe one demonstration right now so we can see, I guess, something that would be common and something you can use often.
Okay, sounds good. So we're going to work off someone pinning a woman against the wall, choking her, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate. Okay. So basically, this is not really a good choke per se. This is not a skilled choke. It's just a control power kind of choke. So that's good news and bad news because it can still knock her out and cause problems. So she's going to break the choke by reaching one arm straight up. And that, you see my hand breaks free, and then she's going to hit me and grab my head at the same time.
Watch the microphone. You almost hit the microphone.
Yeah, sorry. She's going to hack this arm and lock it to her body. This prevents me from posting my hand on the wall. So now she's going to slide out and turn, which makes me fall into the wall. Oh. She's going to follow through with some elbows.
She definitely knows what she's doing. How many classes is this for you?
8 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys are married and she owns this with you. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Good job. Okay, so what just happened? Because she hit you in the face, she needs you, right. She ran away.
The most important thing, if I can demonstrate it really quick, is this initial part right here. A lot of people say, oh, just hit the arms or whatever, but I'm bigger and stronger than she is, so it's really hard for her to just do this or headbutt me. If she headbutts me, she's going to hurt herself more, right? So by reaching one arm in, see the arm is sliding out rather than fighting the strength, and all I need is to break the choke. So now that I've broken the choke, you can strike, elbow, knee, use those powerful weapons.
I'm glad you guys are married because that was intense. Okay, so we're going to have more in a little bit here at Bakersfield Elite Martial Arts Studios. Stay tuned. We'll have more tips and tricks for you guys to keep safe. Kendall, back to you.
Kalina is chopping and blocking right now with more. What's going on?
Rob, so before we went on camera, I wanted to demonstrate this, but I have no idea what I'm doing. So he just did it with her, his beautiful wife, and I still have no clue what's going on. So we're going to do this really quickly. Okay. You can do your thing, so I know she's giving you a workout too. Yeah. So, okay, we did this earlier. This is a chop, and I'm going to say Gloriella's way of escaping you. Right. Okay.
So one hand goes up through the middle. That breaks the grip of the choke. Okay. And then chop my head.
Chop your head.
And grab.
Grab.
Now lock this elbow down from the outside.
Okay.
And then like scoot out. There you go. And then like knee, elbow. You can punch. You can claw my eyes.
So wait, just so we do this again, because when you were demonstrating, demonstrate with her one more time. Because you were saying the reason why this is so effective is because the attacker is putting so much pressure on you.
Exactly.
So whenever you move one, he's essentially or she's essentially leaning toward you so much, so it actually works.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you're using their own
demonstrate it the right way because mine wasn't that great.
I'm going to go a little faster.
Okay, so yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Drop me out of the way.
Done it several times, it's easier, and I'm also getting low because my attacker is probably bigger. Okay. I should have her do it, but for demonstration purposes. This chop and grab controls her arm. This slide through breaks the choke. Okay, and then I'm going to hit her in the neck with my arm and grab. Now, she's still pushing this way. I'm just going to get out of her way and let her own body fall into the wall. Then you can follow up with your knee, elbow, And the most important thing, which is to back away and run.
Okay.
Okay, you don't just turn your back.
You know what, David, we were talking about this earlier because before we went on camera too, because we were talking about how some women don't like taking some of these classes just because they're afraid if they have a male instructor they're going to be too aggressive. But we just want to point out that most of the time, if you're a kid, a little kid, your attacker is going to be a lot bigger than you. And if you're a female, your attacker is not going to be someone, you know, our size most likely. It's going to be someone your size. So the point in trying to stay safe and taking these self-defense classes is to get the most real life situation, but also you're going to keep it safe at the same time. You're not going to go overboard and you know, cause any harm or anything like that.
No,
so we just want to make sure that we all know that, because that's the whole point of this. Now, of course, I ran out of time, again, as always, so we didn't get to do the little crawly around thing, but we're going to get to that in just a little bit, so stay tuned because we have more ways to keep you safe and your kids safe. We're going to be talking about that too. Also, every third Wednesday is when they're offering the free self-defense classes, and we'll be right back.
Live on the case this morning with more. Kalina, good morning.
Good morning, Kendall. So I hope you're taking notes to keep yourself safe. Yes. So I got a message earlier on my Facebook page from a parent who is wondering about kids classes and if these classes are free or how much they cost, because she wants to start sending her little girls to something like this to make sure they're safe, which leads us into our next segment because we're talking about kids going back to school, what your kids need to know in order to be safe. And side note for the parent who messaged me, it's every third Wednesday the classes are free, and the next Wednesday is when we're doing the kids class. So there you go. Okay, so let's talk about something that parents really need to communicate to their kids about going back to school and what they need to be aware of.
The number one word that you already said is communication. Parents and kids need to know they're coming home, what time they're supposed to be there. So if they're not home on time, they can assume something might be wrong and they can take action accordingly. But other than that, for kids' safety, the main thing is assertiveness and awareness and education.
I was going to say, I feel like it's awareness.
Yeah,
absolutely. A lot of distractions now with phones, earbuds, everything else, talking to your friends, whatever else.
Yeah, and working with the Alliance, we actually heard a story with a woman who unfortunately was on her phone and she was so distracted that she literally walked into moving traffic and got hit by a car because she was so into her phone. You know, kids are obsessed with phones today. So being more aware of your surroundings is one of the most important things they can do, and we're going to give kind of a role play scenario. This is the kind of thing we do at our seminars and at the school here. So I'm going to be the bad guy, and we're going to have two kids that are going to demonstrate, one being more distracted and one taking a more tactical approach to walking home safely. So I'm hiding behind this.
I'm going to follow you so we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm hiding behind this bush or this car or whatever, and then we have the distracted student here on her phone, not paying any attention. And that's how fast it can happen, which I know is really, really, really scary. But when you're not paying any attention, someone covers your mouth, you can't kick or scream, grab your arms and drag you off your feet, throw you in the car. It's very, very, very scary.
It is very, very scary. Now, we actually have breaking news right now. Rob and Kendall, we're tossing it back to you. Keep your kids safe, so parents take note and pay attention. So this is normally what happens in a scenario. You have your kid walking down the street, they're distracted, they're on their phone, they have headbuds in, and then look, an attacker just pops up out of nowhere and takes your kid into whatever they're hiding, a closet or somewhere, right? So this is what you want to make sure your kid knows. Is be aware, look up when they're walking, and look at how easy or how much easier it is to kind of get away and fight back at your attacker, and that's what we're talking about here at Bakersfield Elite Martial Arts. Now, another scenario is a kid is on a bench, just hanging out at a park bench, waiting for the bus maybe, and then attacker comes up. Now, David here, the instructor, is saying how easy it is for kids to just kind of wiggle out and make sure they scream, hold on to the bench as tight as possible, and use their strength. Make sure they stay away from that attacker. Now we have one more, which is involving weapons. So we have some misconceptions as far as weapons are concerned. A lot of people are saying hold them in between your hands like this, but you're saying don't do that. And why is that?
Yeah, this is one of many misconceptions. You shouldn't do this because if you actually hit or claw, that's going to move all around. It's more likely to cut you than your attacker. So if you hold it more like a little miniature sword, you can poke and slice with your key without hurting yourself. It's better control.
Got it. Okay, so then another misconception of what people need to know about pepper spray. Tell the scenario from the conference, because this is very interesting.
Yeah. Pepper spray expires, and this is something to consider with all weapons. By the time I ran 50 feet across the room to attack a woman, she wasn't able to
attack a woman for safety reasons.
Right. Right.
Just so we know.
She wasn't able to acquire the pepper spray from inside her purse because she was digging from it, and that was with a warning from a distance. So just because you have a weapon, pepper spray, also, like I said, they expire, or a taser, those need to be recharged. Someone's tried to tase me, not because of any weird situation, but we were practicing, and they tried to tase me. There was no charge in the taser, so it didn't work.
So just be aware that you check the expiration date on your pepper spray. Make sure if you have a taser that is fully charged, and keep yourself aware. Look up at all times. Thank you guys so much. This was great. We'll be right back.